Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into the world of economics.
Oh, economics.
But there's a twist.
Yeah.
We're looking at it through the lens of kids.
Okay.
You sent in some fascinating material about teaching economics and financial literacy to youngsters.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to unpack it all with you. I'm curious, are you a parent, teacher, or just someone with a passion for making complex topics fun and accessible?
Whatever the reason, a solid understanding of economics is a powerful tool no matter what your age.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The material you shared covers so much ground, what economics even is.
Yeah.
The difference between needs and wants, the power of saving,
Right.
and even how money works.
Yeah.
Plus, I stumbled upon a fact that blew my mind. There was a time when Cambodia completely abolished money. Can you believe that?
Really? Wow.
We'll get into the details later,
Yeah.
but it really makes you think about how crucial a stable economic system is.
It does. It's easy to take money for granted, but the Cambodian experiment shows just how chaotic things can get when a society tries to function without it.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's start with the basics.
Right?
The document kicks off with a simple definition of economics.
Okay.
It's about sharing all the things in the world fairly, so everyone is happy.
Oh, wow.
Sounds pretty idyllic, right?
Oh. It's a great starting point, capturing the spirit of cooperation and making sure everyone benefits. But like most things in life,
Yeah.
economics is a bit more complicated than that.
Right.
See, the real world comes with a big constraint,
Okay.
scarcity.
Oh, scary.
We don't have unlimited resources,
Right.
which means we have to make choices
Yeah.
about how we use them. That's where economics comes in.
Okay.
It's about understanding how people make those choices,
Right.
especially when things are limited.
It's like when there's only one piece of cake left and everyone wants it,
Yeah.
you've got to figure out a way to divide it.
Or decide who gets it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And even kids encounter scarcity all the time.
Oh, really?
Think about screen time limits, sharing toys,
Yeah.
or even deciding what game to play with friends.
Right.
It's all about understanding that we can't have everything we want all the time, so we have to make choices.
So how do we help kids
Yeah.
make smart choices?
Yep.
The document dives into needs versus wants, which seems like a key piece of the puzzle.
It is. A need is something essential for survival and well-being,
Okay.
like food, water,
Right.
shelter, and even health care.
Okay.
We absolutely can't live without.
Right.
On the other hand,
Yeah.
a want is something that makes life more enjoyable or comfortable,
Okay.
but isn't essential for survival.
Right. Right.
Think of it like this.
Okay.
You need a warm coat in winter to stay healthy,
Yeah.
but you might want the newest, most stylish coat.
Ooh, the struggle is real. I remember when I was younger, all I wanted was that insert a popular toy or gadget from your childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Looking back, it was definitely a want, not a need.
Yeah.
But at the time,
Yeah.
it felt like the most important thing in the world.
We've all been there.
Right.
It's human nature to want things.
Yeah.
And those desires are often amplified by advertising and social media.
Right.
But that's why understanding the difference between needs and wants is so crucial,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to making financial choices.
So we've established that scarcity forces us to make choices.
Right.
And understanding needs versus wants helps us prioritize those choices.
Yeah.
But we don't just wish for things to appear, right? We
Right.
need something more tangible.
That's where products and services come in.
Okay.
Products are the tangible things we can touch and use: a bike, a book,
Right.
a delicious bowl of cereal.
Okay.
Services, on the other hand,
Yeah.
were actions people do for others.
Right.
Think of a haircut, a doctor's visit,
Well,
or even the teachers who help us learn.
products are things. Services are actions.
Yep.
Got it. I'm looking around my room right now,
Okay.
and I'm surrounded by products.
Yeah.
But what about services? I ordered takeout for dinner last night. Does that count as a service?
You're right on the money.
Oh.
The food itself
Yeah.
was a product.
Yeah.
But the act of preparing and delivering it to you was a service.
Right.
Even something as simple as enjoying a meal can be a combination of both.
This is making me think about economics in a whole new way. Okay, so we have these products and services satisfying our needs and wants,
Yeah.
but they don't just materialize out of thin air.
Right.
We need money to acquire them. And how do we even get that money in the first place?
Excellent question. There are several ways people can earn money.
Okay.
The most common is employment, working for a company or organization and receiving a salary or wage in return.
Okay.
Another path is self-employment,
Okay.
where you're your own boss
Mm-hmm.
and offer your skills or services directly to clients.
Right. Right.
Think of artists,
Uh-huh.
freelancers,
Mm-hmm.
or even someone who runs their own dog walking business.
Okay.
Then there's the exciting world of starting a business.
Right.
This involves creating a product or service
Yeah.
and selling it to customers.
Mm-hmm.
And finally,
Yeah.
there's investment,
Okay.
where you put your money into something with the hope of earning a profit over time.
Wow. So many options. It seems like earning money often involves combining your skills, passions, and a bit of creativity.
It does.
But once we have this hard-earned money,
Yeah.
what should we do with it? I have a feeling the answer isn't spend it all on the latest gadgets.
You're right. That's where the concepts of saving and managing money become super important. The material you shared emphasizes that saving a portion of your income is crucial for future needs and achieving your goals.
Mm-hmm.
It also cautions against overspending,
Right.
which can lead to debt and financial stress.
Yeah.
The idea is to build good money habits early on.
Okay.
Think of it like building a strong financial foundation for your future.
So it's about striking a balance between enjoying the present and planning for the future.
Absolutely.
But how do we teach kids about saving without making it feel like a punishment?
The document offers some practical tips that make saving fun and engaging.
Oh, okay.
One idea is to divide your money into different categories using envelopes or jars.
Okay.
You could have a jar for spending,
Mm-hmm.
a jar for saving,
Right.
and even a jar for giving to charity.
Oh, wow.
It's a visual and tangible way to see where your money is going and make conscious choices about how to use it.
I love that idea. It's like giving each dollar a purpose.
Yeah.
Speaking of purpose, remember that mind-blowing fact about Cambodia abolishing money? That brings us to the whole concept of currency, which seems pretty central to the world of economics.
Absolutely.
Can you break it down for us?
Absolutely. Currency is essentially anything that's widely accepted as payment for goods and services within a specific country or region.
Right.
It's what allows us to trade and exchange value without resorting to bartering, which could get pretty complicated. Imagine trying to trade a cow for a new pair of shoes.
That sounds like a logistical nightmare. I much prefer using money.
Yeah, me too.
But what makes currency valuable in the first place? It's just paper and metal, right?
It's valuable because we, as a society, agree that it has value.
Oh, okay.
It represents a promise that you can exchange it for goods and services. It's like a shared trust that underpins the entire economic system.
Wow.
And this brings us back to Cambodia's experiment.
All right, let's dive into that.
Okay.
What exactly happened in Cambodia?
Well, during the Khmer Rouge regime in the 1970s, Cambodia essentially tried to erase its existing monetary system and start from scratch.
Really?
They abolished currency,
Wow.
shut down banks,
Okay.
and forced people to live in communes where everything was supposedly shared equally. It was a radical attempt to create an agrarian utopia.
It sounds like a fascinating,
Yeah.
albeit risky, experiment.
It was.
What was the thinking behind it?
The Khmer Rouge believed that money was a root of inequality and exploitation.
Oh.
They wanted to create a classless society where everyone worked the land and shared the fruits of their labor.
Right.
But things didn't quite go as planned.
I can imagine. Trying to overturn an entire economic system overnight must have had some consequences.
It did.
Yeah.
The Cambodian economy, already weakened by years of war and political instability, went into complete free fall. Without a stable currency to facilitate trade,
Right.
the economy reverted to a system of barter, which was incredibly inefficient.
Oh, really?
People had to trade goods and services directly,
Yeah.
which was cumbersome and often unfair.
I can see how that would be a problem. Bartering might work in small communities,
Yeah.
but for a whole country?
Yeah.
That sounds chaotic.
It was.
Yeah.
The lack of a reliable medium of exchange led to widespread shortages, black markets,
Right.
and economic instability.
Wow.
It's a stark reminder of how important a well-functioning monetary system is for a society to thrive.
It's almost like a cautionary tale, a glimpse into what can happen when a crucial piece of the economic puzzle is removed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it highlights the interconnectedness of economic systems
Right.
and how disrupting one part can have ripple effects throughout the entire society.
So Cambodia's experience shows us the dangers of abolishing money altogether.
Yeah.
But the document also talks about monetary policy,
Uh-huh.
which seems to be about managing money in a more controlled and strategic way. What exactly does that involve?
It's essentially the toolkit that central banks use to influence a country's economy.
Yeah.
Think of it like a control panel with levers and dials that can be adjusted to speed up or slow down economic activity.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that monetary policy can affect?
It can influence interest rates,
Okay.
which are the costs of borrowing money.
Right.
It can affect inflation, which is the rate at which prices for goods and services increase over time.
Okay.
And it can impact exchange rates, which determine the value of one country's currency compared to another.
It sounds like monetary policy plays a crucial role in keeping an economy healthy and stable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like a delicate dance between stimulating economic growth and keeping inflation in check.
So who are the choreographers of this economic dance? Who decides on these monetary policies?
In most countries, it's the central bank.
Okay.
It's an independent institution that's responsible for managing the country's money supply and setting interest rates.
Okay.
Think of it as the guardian of a country's financial system.
Okay, so we have the central bank calling the shots on monetary policy.
Yeah.
But the document mentions other financial institutions too, right?
Yes. It talks about commercial banks,
Okay.
which are the ones we typically interact with for our everyday banking needs like deposits, loans, and credit cards. And then there are investment banks,
Okay.
which help companies raise capital and make investments.
So it's like a whole ecosystem of financial institutions, each with its own role to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And understanding how these institutions work together is key to understanding how our economy functions as a whole.
Okay, so we've gone from the dangers of having no money to the complexities of managing it.
Right.
It's clear that money matters, but the document also emphasizes that it's not just about having money, it's about managing it wisely.
You're right. Financial literacy isn't just about understanding economic theories. It's about applying those concepts to your everyday life and making smart financial decisions.
And that's where budgeting comes in, right?
Yeah.
The document seems to stress that budgeting is a foundational skill for financial well-being.
Absolutely. It's like creating a roadmap for your money, so you can reach your financial goals without getting lost in a sea of impulsive spending.
So it's about having a plan, a strategy for how you're going to use your money. But budgeting can seem intimidating, even for adults.
It can.
How do we break it down into manageable steps that kids can grasp?
The document outlines a simple yet effective process.
Okay.
It starts with identifying your financial goals.
Okay.
What are you saving for? Maybe it's a new toy,
Yeah.
a family vacation,
Right.
or even a college fund.
That's like taking inventory of your financial resources.
Yeah,
It must be tempting for kids to just focus on the spending part and forget about the tracking.
it can be. That's why the document emphasizes the importance of making budgeting fun and engaging.
Right.
One strategy is to use visual aids like colorful jars or charts to represent different spending categories.
Okay.
Another is to involve kids in the process, maybe by having them design their own dream board with pictures of the things they're saving for.
I love those ideas. They turn budgeting into a creative and interactive activity rather than a chore.
Yeah.
But even with a budget, it can be tough to resist those impulse buys, especially for kids who are bombarded with advertising and peer pressure.
Absolutely. That's why the document highlights the importance of teaching kids to be mindful spenders.
Okay.
It's about pausing before you buy something and asking yourself,
Yeah.
do I really need this?
Right.
Or is this the best use of my money?
It's like hitting the pause button on your spending habits and making a conscious choice.
Exactly. And it's a valuable skill that can benefit us throughout our lives. The document also suggests talking to kids about the power of delayed gratification.
Right.
Waiting a little longer to buy something special can often lead to greater satisfaction in the long run.
So it's about teaching them to think long term and make choices that align with their values and goals.
Precisely. And it's not just about resisting spending. It's also about finding creative ways to earn extra money.
Right.
The document encourages kids to explore entrepreneurial opportunities, like starting a lemonade stand, offering pet sitting services, or even selling crafts they've made.
I love that. It instills a sense of initiative and resourcefulness.
It does.
Yeah.
And it helps kids understand the connection between effort and reward. Now, the document also delves into the concept of saving,
Right.
which is closely tied to budgeting but deserves its own spotlight.
Absolutely. It's not just about putting money aside. It's about understanding the purpose and power of saving.
Exactly. The document emphasizes that saving isn't just about accumulating wealth.
Right.
It's about creating financial security,
Yeah.
achieving your goals, and having the freedom to make choices in life.
It's like building a safety net for your future and opening up opportunities.
Exactly. And the document encourages kids to think about saving not just for material things, but for experiences, like a trip to a national park or a concert they want to attend.
It's about saving for the things that bring joy and enrichment to their lives.
Yes.
But where should kids save their money?
Yeah,
Is a piggy bank enough?
Piggy banks are a great starting point, especially for younger kids.
Okay.
They make saving tangible and fun.
Yeah.
But as kids get older, the document suggests introducing them to bank accounts, where their money can earn interest and grow over time.
So it's about teaching them how to make their money work for them.
Exactly.
That brings us to the concept of investing, which can seem daunting even for adults.
It can be, but the document emphasizes that it's never too early to start learning about investing.
Right.
It's about understanding that money can be used to purchase assets that have the potential to increase in value over time.
Like stocks,
Right.
bonds, or even real estate.
Exactly. And while investing involves risks,
Yeah.
it also offers the potential for greater returns than simply saving money in a bank account.
It's like taking a calculated risk to grow your wealth over time. But investing seems complex.
It can be.
Where do we even begin?
The document suggests starting with the basics, understanding different types of investments, learning about risk and return,
Okay.
and seeking guidance from trusted financial advisors.
Right.
There are also many resources available online and in libraries that can make investing more accessible.
That's good to know. So we've covered a lot of ground budgeting, saving, investing, and even navigating those tempting impulse buys.
Right.
But the document doesn't stop there.
Really?
It also delves into the fascinating topic of entrepreneurship, which ties back to those kidpreneur aspirations we talked about earlier.
I like that term.
You're right. It seems like this document is a treasure trove of financial wisdom for kids of all ages.
It is.
Absolutely. But before we dive into the entrepreneurial side of things, let's take a quick recap of what we've learned so far.
All right.
You ready for a lightning round?
Bring it on. I'm always up for a good knowledge check.
All right, let's recap what we've learned so far on our deep dive into economics for kids.
Okay.
We've talked about scarcity, needs versus wants,
Right.
how money is earned and managed,
Yeah,
and the importance of budgeting and saving.
absolutely.
Plus, we took a detour to Cambodia
Right.
to see what happens when a country tries to function without currency.
Uh-huh.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't go well.
It was a disaster.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's like we're building a financial literacy fortress brick by brick.
I like that.
But there's one more crucial element we need to add the power of setting and achieving goals.
Oh,
The document you sent in actually dedicates a whole section to this, which I think is brilliant.
I agree. Goals provide direction, motivation, and a sense of purpose, especially when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
Teaching kids how to set and achieve financial goals can set them up for a lifetime of success and fulfillment.
So true. But before we dive into the how-to, let's talk about what financial goals even are. Are we talking about becoming millionaires by the time they're 10?
Not necessarily, though that would be impressive.
Right.
Financial goals are simply anything you want to achieve with your money.
Okay.
They can be short-term goals like saving up for a new video game or a special outing with friends, or they can be long-term goals like buying a car, funding a college education, or even saving for a down payment on a house someday.
So it's about having a vision for the future and then using financial planning to make that vision a reality.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, my big financial goal was to buy insert a coveted item from your childhood.
Oh, yeah.
It took me months of saving allowance money and doing odd jobs around the neighborhood.
Wow.
But the feeling of finally achieving that goal was incredible.
I bet it was. That sense of accomplishment is what makes setting and achieving goals so rewarding.
Right.
And it teaches valuable life lessons along the way. Patience, perseverance, and the power of delayed gratification.
Speaking of how-to,
Well-
the document provides a clear framework for setting and achieving those goals.
Okay.
It all starts with identifying what you want to accomplish.
Right.
Seems simple enough, right?
It is. But it's important to be specific.
Okay.
Instead of saying, I want to save money,
Yeah.
a better goal would be, I want to save $100 for a new skateboard by the end of the summer.
So it's about making your goals measurable and setting a time frame.
Exactly. The next step is to break those big goals down into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay.
If that skateboard costs $100, maybe the goal is to save $10 per week.
Right.
This makes the goal seem less daunting and keeps you motivated along the way.
It's like climbing a mountain. You focus on reaching the next base camp rather than getting overwhelmed by the entire summit.
I love that analogy. And the document also stresses the importance of tracking your progress.
Okay.
This could be as simple as using a chart or a calendar to mark off each time you reach a mini goal.
Right.
It's incredibly satisfying to see those visual reminders of how far you've come.
It's like watching your financial success grow right before your eyes. And those little celebrations along the way can really help keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. Recognizing and rewarding yourself for those milestones, even the small ones,
Yeah.
reinforces positive financial habits and makes the journey more enjoyable.
Okay, so we've got our SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Right?
We're breaking them down into smaller steps,
Yeah.
and we're tracking our progress.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we do to set kids up for success?
The document highlights the importance of involving kids in the process and giving them ownership of their financial goals.
Okay.
Let them choose what they want to save for,
Mm-hmm.
help them brainstorm ways to earn money,
Right.
and encourage them to make decisions about how they'll allocate their funds.
It's about empowering them to become active participants in their financial journey.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it's also important to talk to them about the trade-offs involved in making financial choices.
Mm.
Sometimes it means giving up something you want now to save for something you want even more in the future.
It's about helping them weigh the pros and cons and make informed decisions.
Exactly.
But what happens when they encounter setbacks? I imagine it can be discouraging if they slip up or don't reach a goal as quickly as they hoped.
It's important to normalize setbacks and view them as learning opportunities.
Right.
Talk to them about the importance of perseverance, adjusting your approach, and seeking support when needed.
It's about building resilience and teaching them that even financial experts make mistakes sometimes.
Precisely. And remember, achieving financial goals isn't just about the money itself.
Yeah.
It's about what the money enables.
Right.
It's about having the resources to pursue your passions, help others, and make a positive impact on the world.
So it's about aligning your financial goals with your values and aspirations.
Exactly. And by instilling these principles in kids early on, we're equipping them with the tools and mindset they need to create a fulfilling and financially secure future.
Wow, what a fantastic deep dive. We've explored everything from the basics of economics to the power of goal setting and the importance of financial literacy.
Yeah.
It's clear that these concepts aren't just for adults, they're essential life skills that benefit people of all ages.
I couldn't agree more. And I'm so inspired by the thought of young minds embracing these concepts and shaping their financial futures with confidence and purpose.
Me too. So to wrap up, what stood out to you the most in this deep dive?
Well, I think the most important takeaway is that financial literacy is a journey, not a destination. By starting early, making it fun, and emphasizing the real-world applications of these concepts,
Yeah.
we can empower the next generation to become financially savvy, responsible, and ultimately happy individuals.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the fascinating world of economics for kids.
It was my pleasure.
If you enjoyed this episode and want to explore more related topics like investing, entrepreneurship, or even the history of money, let us know. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.